Tune into the final take with MK Mariner every Saturday on the Alcamba
Hello
Times
and warm
experience
welcome.
extensive conversations on a variety of topics, including national and international headlines, breaking issues, and major developments in politics, business, innovation, science, and sports, along with inspiring stories and expert analysis to provide a comprehensive understanding of the news.
Hello and warm welcome to this special edition of the Alcamba Times live from Colorado, Denver. We are going to examine and analyze the recent landmark Michael Correa torture trial here in Denver, Colorado. Flex Dan of Askawi Media, who will be joining me, along with Ole Sise, who is a victim, who is a family of the victims of Michael Correa. So within this next 1 hour, we'll be discussing what we know about Michael Correa's trial here in Denver, what it means for accountability, and what it means for respect and reparation for victims of Jammeh's brutality. As you all know, just to give you a recap, Michael Correa, one of the junglers of the former regime, have been found guilty on all the 6 counts of torture and conspiracy to commit torture today by a federal judge here in Denver, Colorado. Flex Dan is here with us. Flex, welcome to this special show about the Michael Correa trial that is all over the place right now. Flex Dan, bring us to speed. What happened today at that landmark? You have been following this trial for the past 1 week. Tell us, bring us to speed. What happened today at the federal court in Denver here?
Having me on Alcamba Times, and greetings.
Are you there, Yusuf?
Yes, I'm here. Can you get me? I hope I'm coming out fine. The internet. Okay. I think you can get me now.
Yes, you very well.
Perfect. Yes. Okay. I will go ahead. So, yes, I was with you today at the courthouse at Denver, Colorado, not far from the hotel where the witnesses and most of the advocates following the trial. So what we saw was the verdict from the jury, the 12-member jury, standing panel jury. They were constituted just last week on 7th April 2025. And this jury took just less than, not too long, because from what we understand is that yesterday, everybody went home. And we got a text message later on in the day that the jury had also would converge the next day. So I want to believe that the jury also went home soon after yesterday's trial ended. And today, I was with you until this morning, when in the afternoon, when 2 o'clock, we started to receive a text message. We were having lunch together, myself and Seni MK. We rushed straight away to the courthouse, and we were lucky to get a seat, one of the last few seats, and then the jury gave out the verdicts. Yes. And the verdicts were coming out, one after the other.
We were having a lunch.
Yes, indeed. So the verdicts started coming out very quickly, one after the other. There was no difference. All the verdicts were guilty counts. Every single verdict that came out of all the 6 verdicts. So the first verdict is about conspiracy to commit torture. He was found guilty for this. Michael Correa was found guilty for conspiracy to commit torture. He conspired with the NIA. He conspired with the president's office and his fellow junglers. And he conspired with other security officials, some of them at mile 2, to hand prisoners over. And some of these prisoners, after meeting severe beatings, 5 of them at least. Tamsir Jase is one of the most lucky ones. I spoke to him today. He told me that he spent 6 years in jail. Because if you remember, Tamsir Jase and the former information minister. That's your guy, Seni MK, former information minister, together went to America. They were rushed back. But the rest of them were not so lucky. The likes of Yaya Dabo, he spent 9 years, 4 months in jail, and he received Yes. 9 years, 4 months in jail in total in Mile 2. Some of them, they were kept in the security wing, which is images of the security wing was being shown all throughout the trial. I wish you were there to see some of it. It was very moving to see the images of victims who had received torture that is melting plastic bag, that black plastic bag. And they kept showing this black plastic bag in the court, you know. Yes. Even getting the black plastic bag is another story. But let me just conclude with the rest of the victims. We've already said Tamsir Jassi. We said Yaya Dabo. Faring Sanyang is another one who suffered severely. He is also another victim who is one of the counts. They found him guilty, Correa, for torturing Faring Sanyang. The jury also found Correa guilty for torturing Pierre Mendy. Pierre Mendy is now deceased. He died in 2020 of natural causes, August 2020 to be precise, of natural causes. But he has also found justice today, even though he is deceased. And then another one, Demba Dem, he was the only civilian National Assembly member who actually, was tortured, and he also spent a long time in jail. And if I can remember the last one off the top of my head, I haven't, but I'm sure before we finish the program, I'll be able to bring you the name of the last one if I haven't already.
Remember.
So that's how it went today, Seni. Take it away.
Trial took at least 8 days, and for us who have been very familiar with court reporting, we call this a speedy trial, a trial that lasted, less than 2 weeks, and juries unanimously came to conclusion that Michael Sankoria is indeed guilty of all the 6 counts that the federal prosecutors brought against him. How do you compare the American legal system, what you saw in court, and that of the Gambia? Because in Gambian trials, normally it takes years before a judge will come into conclusion. Can you tell us your different are they?
Indeed. I'm somebody who reports extensively from the Gambian courts as well. Of course, if some of the listeners or followers will be following Askawi, you will see that we have been writing about the AKI trial. And that AKI trial has been going on for a very long time now.
Yeah.
Over a year, just like what you are talking about. You see, over a year, almost 2, if it continues. AKI, that is the acute kidney injury, where some over plus 70 children died from consuming that bad poisonous medicine. The trial is still ongoing. On Ashkanwi, we have a dedicated page, just like we have a dedicated page
from the Indian
Correa trial. We have a dedicated page for the AKI. So, like, you are very right. The timeline is there to see. Like I outlined, some of it is taking over a year. Meanwhile, look at this trial. It was postponed in September, and then it came to April. And before the end of April, we already have a guilty verdict. We are in mid-April now. Today is 16. We've already got a guilty verdict. Is it 16? It's 15th. Yes. Yes, it's still 15th. I'm looking at the Gambian time. But just to put things into context of the differences when it comes to speedy trial. And the trial was very open in the sense that you could see all the evidence that was being tendered to the jury. you could see all the evidence that was being tendered to the judge. They were using presentations, and these presentations was being shown on the screens. You understand? So it was a very, very speedy trial. The judge did not joke around. The first day,
Flex
yeah,
down, yeah,
take,
flex down, not to, yes, not to,
let's take our guest.
yeah, not to cut you short. We just joined by two people on this special edition on Michael Correa's landmark verdict today. One of them is Mohammed Sandeng. He's the big man at the Solo Sandem Foundation. He's also joining us live from Denver, and also our sister Oli Sise. We all know Oli has been at the forefront, crying for accountability and justice for many victims, including his own brother and cousin. And today she and her family, came all the way to Denver. Her mom was at the courthouse, her sister was at the courthouse, herself was there, to witness this landmark verdict. So for those joining us, this is the special edition of the Alcamba Times analysis of the verdict covering this. So I would like Ole to briefly join the show. Ole, welcome to the special edition. It was very prompt. I just call you because of your love for justice. You say, "Hey, I'm gonna join." Ole,
Yeah, thank
what
you,
does this
Seni.
landmark verdict mean for you? As a family of the victims.
Yeah, thank you, Seni. And I think I'm losing
Are you
connection a
there,
little
Ole?
bit, but hopefully you could hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, we
You
can
can
hear
hear me?
you.
Okay,
Yes,
all
very
right.
well.
Okay, thank
Yes, I
you,
can hear you.
Seni. Okay, yeah, thank you for the invitation. Thank you, Flex,
Just that
and
we are
thank
not
you,
seeing your
Mohammed.
face on the camera like the other participants.
All right, let me turn the camera on. I'm in Denver. At my cousin's place and with the kids. So I don't know if they will just jump into the camera, but
Okay,
we'll
that's
see
fine.
because they're little kids.
That's fine. There you are. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Thank you for the invitation. And I think your question was, what do I feel about the verdict today? Was that the question?
Yeah.
Okay. Um.
Yeah.
Uh.
He's been at the
Yeah. It's
forefront. You know, Sergeant.
it's
Yeah. Go
definitely, yeah, it has definitely brought back a lot of emotions because it's been a very long
on.
journey. But first of all, I will say I will like to thank the prosecutor team, which I think all of us that were present felt that they did an amazing job in terms of prosecuting this case. I would also like to thank the 12 juries that were there that deliberated on this and
Yeah.
delivered a guilty verdict. But
Fine.
special thanks goes to the 9 witnesses that were present today, because I think it took a lot of courage for them. It took a lot of heart because I'm sure um, it brought back a lot of memories for them to have to go through, to have to relieve all the pains and suffering that they've gone through. Um, but in terms of like what does this verdict means for me, I'll say it's getting closer to closure. We are not there yet. Obviously, I think a lot of people that probably have gone through this process knows that justice usually takes a long time, right? Um, but it doesn't mean that it will not happen. I think it's just going to take a long time. I was I think from my point of view, this verdict just put a stamp again in terms of the justice system in the U.S. Because when the case was presented, as Flex was alluding to, it was a very open case. Like all sides were heard. both the prosecutor and the defendant were heard, and he was also accorded something that he has not accorded to a lot of his victims,
the opportunity,
which was to be taken to the court of of law. And they decided to take things in their own hands. So I was really happy in terms of the outcome. But to me, I think this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning of a very long journey to go.
Oli, you have been at the forefront. Is this a step closer to accountability back home too? Because when you look at this trial, this is the third Gambian, who has been tried under the, universal jurisdiction, the by law in
Not
Germany
sure if it's
and
me.
the Usman Sonko in Switzerland. Do you think that we are inching closer home where those working scot-free street also face justice and accountability for their actions as recommended by the TRRC?
I hope this sets a catalyst for the government in the Gambia, because I believe this was like the fourth case that was tried for a non-U.S. citizen in terms of torture that was held by the court here. So I'll say that there's a fourth time for everything. So hopefully the government of the Gambia is seeing this as a beginning or as a catalyst, that there's ample evidence out there and that these people are guilty, that they should be held accountable, that we cannot just say that, oh, they just took directive from Yahya Jammeh, because as I think that was one of the closing remarks of the prosecutor, that if we take it with that lens, then who's going to be held accountable? Then nobody's going to be nobody's going to be we're just following orders and do the same thing. So hopefully the Gambian government is looking at this case and as well as the two other cases and trying to take steps towards like prosecuting all these people that needs to be prosecuted.
Prosecutor. Many thanks, Ole. We will hang on Mohammed Sandeng, is the Secretary General or the CEO of the Solo Sandeng Foundation. He has also been at the forefront seeking accountability. Mohammed, it's a landmark verdict today. What does this mean for you and your foundation in your quest for accountability?
Thank you very much, Saini. First of all, I'll just put this straight for the records. I'm the executive secretary and not the CEO. And thank you very much for having me on this show. I think it's a great opportunity to debrief and also speak about the verdict. For me, in my perspective as a victim, I think this is a moral booster for the whole community back home in our quest for justice, like you alluded. It's important that we see that justice is possible. It doesn't matter. There are issues, obviously, about the fact that it's not happening back home and it's happening somewhere. But it's a moral booster generally for both the government and the victim community, especially those that have yearned for justice for a very long time. I think it's a moral booster that justice is possible everywhere. It doesn't matter where they run to. We should not be tired of trying to get them, right? We should not be we should not ever be tired of stretching the long arms of justice to get them wherever they are. So that is a great addition for me to the transitional justice process, but it's also, generally, it is an important milestone to achieve as a country, trying to seek justice for grave human rights violations that have happened. And they've affected people. There's human causes to all of these things. Me sitting here today talking to you, I'm a testament to the human causes that of such callous and inhumane treatment of people that could result and have resulted to life-altering situations for people and other people losing their lives, in fact. So I think it is a very important milestone, but it's also a wake-up call for the Gambian government to realize that the rest of the world, the international community, is sort of running faster than them, and they should not be left behind in the quest for justice for Gambians, especially. So that's important also to put across.
Mohammed, are you there? It seems there is some
Definitely.
connection issues. I don't know where it's coming
I
from,
think
but
it might be your
you
connection because I'm getting everybody else
breaking. Can you hear me?
Sani, I think your connection might be having a problem there. Ask Sani, is it not your connection? Everybody else, I'm getting them fine.
It must be with Sani.
Sani is frozen right now.
It might be the host connection. That's not cool, eh?
Ask Sani.
Yeah, it looks like the host connection.
And I'm right here at my hotel, so they should give me a better connection, because these are very important.
I think I can hear you there, but I don't know, Mohammed.
Yeah, I think it's slow for him, Flex. I can hear you, and it looks like I'm hearing you in real time. So it's probably slow for him.
Yeah, I can also hear you, Mohammed. So
yes.
Yes, your quest for accountability, okay.
Yeah, did you hear all I said, or I have to go back on it? I wouldn't mind, but yeah. Like I was saying, I think this is a moral.
No, you don't need to. You don't need to go back. I think I'm the one facing. Yeah, I'm the one having some challenges with connection. So I don't know, but I'll try to sort it out. So Flex Dan, you had Ole and Mohammed. I just want to bring our struggle memories. So today, when four of us met at the federal court, it was a moment of joy and sorrow, remembering the struggle we made to make sure that there is sanity back home with the establishment of the Gambia Youth for Unity movement. Dr. J. Cisse was there, and then Ole was there. You are also part of that movement. And today we are all here, trying to reinforce that accountability and justice for victims 8 years after the fall of Yahya Jammeh. So, Flex, now that Michael Correa is awaiting sentencing, because a lot of people were calling me, they say, you say this guy is guilty, but we didn't hear the sentence. In the U.S. court, when the verdict is read, they take a date for sentencing, and his sentence, I understand, Flex Dan, is coming on the 29 July 2025, where the judge will finally sentence him.
Yes, it's good that you mentioned that, because actually it will not take place on those dates. Actually, what happened, what we witnessed was that the clerk of the judge, Aguero, was looking at the diary, and she came out with 29, 30th, and 31st, and then the 1st of August. July, August. So that's what she came out with. But then the defense was coming up with another argument that they have booked that whole week for another trial. So they did say that they would meet up and sort out the dates. Speaking to CJA, that is Center for Justice and Accountability, they did make it known to me that it most likely will not happen before. Most likely it will happen after. At this rate. So after August, sometime for now, is what we're looking for. But if it changes, I'm sure we will definitely be on it and be able to give information. But it's also interesting to listen to what the United States representatives today came out to say from the Department of Justice. They came out and they had a very strong press conference, which both of us witnessed. And in that, they said that the United States will not, and they will prosecute anybody that they find in a similar scenario, a human rights violator, trying to come back to America or to run away to America to live and escape from justice. But justice will catch you if you step foot in here. That's what the DOJ representative was saying today, which I'm sure victims will be paying very close attention to.
Seni's gone again.
Yeah, Seni, are you with us?
Absolutely. Wherever you run, that's what the district attorney said at the press conference. He said you cannot run. When you run, you don't come to the U.S. If you come to the U.S., you will be arrested and prosecuted. Ole, today is a great day for many of you guys. Finally, the long arm of justice has reached Michael Correa. Tell us behind the scene. You guys did a lot of work, behind the scene, trying to ensure that justice is served in this case. Tell us what went behind the scene until today that we finally achieved justice in the case of Michael Correa.
Yeah, thank you, Sani. I'm not sure how much I can share, but I could probably just say that there was a lot of interviews, a lot of conversations that happened behind the scenes, a lot of prayers as well, and a lot of hope, right? I think that was one thing that never left any one of us. We knew that there's going to be a day, and this similar day is going to happen too for Yaya Jame. I think as we stood outside of the courthouse, that was one of the things that we were saying, that one day today it's Michael Correa, because I think he entered the United States December of 2016, I believe, and he was not.
16.
I think he was apprehended by ICE in 2019 and charged in 2020. So that's like 4 years, and then from the time that he entered the U.S. 2016 to now is what, I don't know, like 9 years or something like that. So it does take a long time. It does take a lot of patience. Sometimes we do, I'll say, get a little bit impatient, especially the last time when we all we're ready to come to Denver, book our flights and everything, and then last minute the trial was canceled. So it is sometimes we do get a little bit impatient, but I think at the end of the day, every one of the junglers that participated, or every one of these guys that participated in stroking fear in their fellow Gambians and think that they can flee to the West, as Flex mentioned, like what the DOJ mentioned today, they will be catch and they will be prosecuted. And so it's going to take a long time, and hopefully, like everybody out there that are like victims, just know it's going to take a long time, but it's going to happen. Like Yaya Jame will be prosecuted one day.
Yes. Yaya Jame's day will come.
It definitely will.
Yes, absolutely.
And I like I said,
It will take a long
This is
time,
one
but it will
step
come.
closer to.
every person we get
Go
adds
ahead.
to his indictment.
Indeed.
Then he's so behind.
Sini, what kind of
Flex,
connection do you
are you
have?
there?
Yeah.
Yes, so I'm here. I'm here with you.
Yeah,
I'm here.
I don't just understand. So what I will do, I will just take a quick break and connection, but you guys can stay on the line because the discussion is so interesting that I can't miss it because of bad internet. And that's an indictment on America. I can't be in America and still
I
having
know,
internet
right? Can
issues
you
like
Or is
in
it
imagine?
Denver?
Gambia. That's not correct.
Maybe it's Denver.
How come we've got better
Yeah.
internet? We're in Denver right now.
And Dr. J is even joining us right now. Dr. J, welcome to the show. You're joining us a bit late, but we are struggling with the internet from my side, which is unfortunate.
Are you at the hotel still? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm at the hotel, and my internet is my internet is misbehaving.
Did you log into their system, to their Wi-Fi?
Yeah, I log into guest Wi-Fi connection here, but
Oh,
it seems maybe probably a lot of people are using it. Or it's very strange.
probably. Oh wow.
Everyone is coming good. Mohammed, yeah. So I could see my bars going on and off, like 2 bar, 3 bar. So it seems the internet
Yeah,
is
it's
not
like you're rolling. Is that Flex?
very
Yes, and
I,
strong.
this is
So,
like
but we will try. I will go for a short break, fix it as soon as
okay. I
possible.
will. If you are going for a short break, Seni, I will take over with your permission.
Tune into the final take with MK Mariner every Saturday on the Alcamba Times and experience extensive conversations on a variety of topics, including national and international headlines, breaking issues, and major developments in politics, business, innovation, science, and sports, along with inspiring stories and expert analysis to provide a comprehensive understanding of the news.
Okay, we're back.
Hello.
hello.
Hello. Yes. Can you hear us? Seni?
Yes, Flex. You can let me make you co-host,
Okay.
so you can host it from your end, and then I fix it right now. Okay.
Okay. No problem. Okay. Um, since Seni is struggling with the internet, I will step in. Jay, we haven't heard from you, and you were at the trial, the verdict today.
I think
Jay,
she stepped
Jay,
away.
she stepped away. Jay, put on your video.
She
You
stepped away
gisla.
for a minute.
Okay, she stepped away for a minute then.
No, she just stepped away. Yeah, we had some visitors.
Okay, okay, no worries, no worries. Fine. So I'll just take the conversation on for a while, because I think I was covering most of it. Mohammed, you also, you covered it, and you did some impressive work on Solo Sundeng Foundation website. By the way, viewers and listeners can go on Alcamba Times, of course, on the Solo Sundeng Foundation, who they've been every day publishing reports on the trial. But I think perhaps there are some things because nobody saw how Correa looked like. Some apart from those of us who were in the court. Ole, I mean, I would like to know what you thought, given the pictures that have been widely circulated about Correa, and when you saw him in court, what did you think? Was it what you expected?
No, it definitely was not what I expected. Because probably I think his last pictures that I saw he had his head saved, and like over the years, the pictures that I saw that circulated online were pretty different from when I saw him at the courthouse. I think he had like dreadlocks in a ponytail and had like glasses. And to me, I think he just looked arrogant, even though he was in the court facing charges. I still felt like his demeanor, and especially yesterday, when we were waiting for, especially like I think when the prosecutors were asking for dismissal of some of the instructions that were going to the juries. And when the judge did not dismiss, I think it was, I don't know if we could talk about all this, but I guess so.
Yes. This is no public.
I think it was, we can?
Yes,
Okay.
we can.
And I think it was number 25, which,
Yes.
yeah,
Instruction
I
25.
think it was the instruction number 25.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah, it was number 25, where basically about like the redress, that's saying that he feared for his life, etc. And so when the
Yes.
judge said no, he was not going to dismiss, that, and that it was going to be presented to the jury. Like his demeanor was very arrogant. I think at one point he was smiling. I looked at him, and I know he kept looking at us, but I just kept staring at him, and he will like stare, and then
Yes,
he will look
and that's
down. But he's
I want to ask you about that because I asked another person who was at the trial about Korea because one of the victims actually shared that they were actually the way Korea was looking at them whilst they were doing their testimony, they were actually very angry. And in fact, I don't want to call the name of the witness. I mean, of course, but the witness was actually very angry. This is a witness who testified. They said that they wanted to just jump out and just give Korea a blow. How was it? Did he glare at you? Because at one time I felt like he was looking at me, and I looked back at him. How did you have any such a moment with him?
Yeah, yesterday I don't think he I'm not yesterday he did not make that much eye contact. I
Mhm.
think a lot of the eye contact was like when the prosecutor was speaking, but I tried to make as much eye contact with him just to let him feel that he couldn't intimidate us. Because the way he was looking around, like sometimes I don't know, it felt just intimidating.
Mm.
I was sitting like directly across from him, and I remember my cousin came late and sat like beside us, and he was looking at my cousin directly, and I could feel him looking at him, and I kept staring at him, and I think he looked down, and then he stared at me and my mom because my mom was sitting next to me, and I just kept staring at him because I'm like, you're not going to intimidate us in this court, like you're already being prosecuted. And that was before the verdict was read. But he like his demeanor today and yesterday compared, like he looked a little bit subdued. He looked like probably he was very, very nervous in
Mhm.
terms of the outcome of the case. Whereas yesterday I don't know, he just had like this like pompous attitude
Yeah.
on his face.
Yes. I'll hand over to MK shortly, but that's what my last question to Mohammed, which is very similar. Did you observe a shift in Michael Korea's behavior or attitude throughout the trial um, compared to today, especially when the verdict was being read? Of course, we've had he's got a guilty count on all 6 charges. Did you observe any differences? And perhaps we can also talk a little bit about the jury, some of the way they reacted, because of people are not able to see inside this trial. And I think it's important for us, the ones who witnessed the trial, to give them a flavor of what it was in like. Correa, how was his, throughout this trial, how was his demeanor? Did it change in the last minute?
Yeah, I feel like it did because during in the initial stages of the trial, I feel like he was normal. I would call it normal
Mm,
until yesterday. I mean, during the course of the rest of the days, he would actually just make the normal gestures, which I think because I mean, gestures of irritation. I mean, or also the fact that we spent a lot of time. You know, those kind of gestures. I could sense those, and I read them, and but also during the last days, like yesterday and today. Yesterday, what I saw was, I think, much more significant, which was some sort of a gesture of remorse, where I could see him. I mean, even in his eyes, he was kind of teary. Uh, Yesterday, when the prosecution was sort of doing their final statements, the closing statement, I could visibly discern, a teary person, a person that's emotional, and that was what I saw in him. But coming to today, I think what I saw is a little different. Right at the time when the jury was actually, uh, I mean, the judge was reading the jury, the verdict, because there
mhm,
was a verdict form which was signed and then passed on to the judge to read out. By the way, the jury doesn't read out the verdict. They just do the signing and everything, and then they
mhm.
pass to
Judge
the
reads it.
judge to read it out. So when that was happening, I think I don't know, but I felt for a second that he might have sensed the outcome already, because maybe it's also common sense that if the jury was coming out of deliberations at that point, they must have reached a conclusive final thing, which would definitely find Correa guilty because of all of the evidence we also saw. So I think at this point, I could sense from what I saw and what I could discern is kind of a sense of lost hope. If he had any hopes that this was going to be an escape for him, I could visibly see him losing that hope, in his facial expressions. That was all. And during the other days also, I mean, I myself was making, I wouldn't say physical eye contact, but which I believe it is in the end. But that wasn't my intention. But I was sort of focusing more on him to see his facial expressions, and that is when I discerned, sort of irritation and all of those things during the process. But yeah, definitely.
Flex down.
Kenny, over to you.
Yes, over to me. I contacted my guys, so it's a bit crazy. So I think I'll try to manage. If not, then I have to find a better internet, and do the show tomorrow. But I can see that you guys are on my side that is having issues, so I'm also listening. So Auntie J, welcome to this special analysis and take on the committed to seeking justice and accountability for crimes committed by these junglers and other human right violators. What is the six count Michael Correa is guilty? For the first time, a Gambian is been tried under the U.S. torture law, under the universal jurisdiction. What does this verdict mean for you as
Saini,
a
I think can you hear me?
as a family of the victims of his brutalities?
The verdict it's like
Are you there, Jay?
yes. Can you hear me?
Can you
you
hear
guys?
me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm hearing you well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I said this is like milestone that we have achieved. It's just the beginning, like I said earlier, that we have this is number 3. So we have more to conquer, and I think the biggest one that we are all waiting for, hopefully it won't be too long, but it's just I can only take a deep breath and know that what we've been fighting for years and years is just beginning to happen, and I know we would have more to come for sure. Yeah. Yeah. But like Ole was saying,
Do you think justice has been served in this case?
yes, absolutely, justice has been served. The fact that he was able to be found guilty for everything that he was charged for is 100% justice has been served. The fact that I'm not sure how many years, but most likely it will be close to 100 years. That's enough to set
Yeah,
standard.
because it can carry at least 20 years.
Yeah. So the fact that he is going to be in prison for that long, and the fact that he has ran away from the Gambia and came to the US, and still we were able to achieve this, that's a big achievement. It's not something that we should take lightly, and it's history that's been made today, and there will be more histories to be made in many other countries to come. I know Flex, he's having a lot of technical issues, so maybe,
Yes.
yeah.
Seni, I think is catching up with us now. Seni, are you with us?
Yes, Flex.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, I'm here. You go ahead.
Yes.
I'm here.
No. Just to pick up from
Listening.
Jay, Dr. J. By the way, I think Seni, you need to respect the title. Doctor is not an easy.
I know Saini probably is used to. Do you guys remember GYU? I think that's
Yes, and he talked about that. We talked about GYU days actually. A
yes,
little
yes.
bit earlier.
It is amazing that we were able to come
All
back
together,
first time.
yes. Gambia Youth for Unity. In case those
Yes,
who are wondering, what's GYU?
yeah,
So yes, it was a moment that brought nostalgia. Of
yeah,
course,
yeah,
when we look back, this is one of the reasons why we wanted to get our country back,
yeah,
because we feel that the country belongs to
Have
all of
changed.
us, and the dictatorship cannot be going about and just destroying lives anyhow. But
yeah,
thank God now we have our country back, and justice is taking place, even though it's not taking place in our country, which
yeah.
many of us want to see. But
Mm-hmm.
justice delayed is justice denied, and that's what the U.S. system has shown.
Yep,
Just a few days, over a week, 8 days,
yep. It
and
didn't take that
yeah,
much. It didn't have
done.
to take much.
Yeah.
Yep,
So Gambia, they are talking about all these things, this, that. I think there's too much bureaucracy. And
it is.
quite frankly, when you think about it, why I said there's too much bureaucracy, for us, we don't have a jury. So there's not that additional layer of complexity. But still, ours take so long. Why? And I think these are all. Mhm,
I feel like you see how they work efficiently.
mhm.
Like from the time you enter the courtroom, there is
Yeah,
no
yeah,
dilly. You go
and
straight to the charge.
within less than 2 weeks. Yeah,
Yeah, but from the time you enter the courtroom, when they say it's eight
within
o'clock,
two
it's
weeks they
8 o'clock.
unanimously come into a decision. I have
Yes.
never witnessed a jury trial. This is my first time because
Oh,
I
really?
cover the Gambian court so
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
These people that.
I think Flex can give you a little bit more information. Like when they say it's 8 o'clock, it's eight
Yeah.
o'clock, and everyone respects the courtroom. You walk
Mhm.
in, your phones are off, you sit
Yeah,
down, and
yeah, yeah.
the judge comes in, all rise, and then
No
we start
disturbance.
working.
Yep.
There is no disturbance. There is no. It is something. I think what I was telling Ole earlier, there is a lot for people to learn, and I wish Flex had the opportunity to even take videos for them to see how the
I wish.
courtroom, how it's carried out, how
Yeah.
people are respected. Even Michael Correa himself, I was telling Ule, look at his lawyers were carrying the clothes that they had to get for him so he can be decent.
Hmm.
So they
Yep.
provide the suits and everything for him so he can be a human being, which he did not give to his victims.
At all.
So I think there's a lot we should learn and see how we can make our system where it's efficient, but we respect the rule of law, we respect the courts, the judges also respect themselves, and the people, the community also respect the law. But at the same time, the law also respects the people. So it's just amazing for people to watch and see that, and I'm glad you brought that up, Sani.
Yeah, Semi, if I can come in,
Exactly.
I think it's very
I
important what
agree.
Jay has.
Jay,
I just wanted to piggyback on that because there's been a survey which Afrobarometer did about the judiciary and all of that,
yeah,
and we saw that the judiciary,
I'm
them,
not definitely so I want to handle so well, but the
yes,
internet is making my
yeah.
day
So,
so rough,
then you will allow me to
what
go on,
we'll do, we'll
huh? No, Semi, can you hear?
Yeah, go on. We will do a
Okay.
closing
So
remark.
I just wanted to
End it
highlight,
there. So
if you
maybe
will allow
if
me.
Sister J and Ole is in town, we will still do this show again. Because it's
Sure.
important for our message to go across.
Yes, definitely. Okay, so I was just trying to talk about the fact that there was an Afrobarometer survey
Go
about the
ahead,
judiciary
Flex.
and how they should improve and some of their gaps. And when this survey came out, instead of for them to take this in, this is some of the part of the problem about in Gambia. Instead of for them to take this as constructive criticism done through a survey, this is what the Gambians think about how your service is. No, they refused. They even wrote a statement to reject it. You see Gambia government writing a statement to reject surveys. Now, no wonder, as I've said, our courts, every time you go to court, judges adjournment, judge is not coming, defense is not coming, something is the reason why counsel is not coming. You see, you don't mess around with the US system. You come 8 o'clock, pam, start. 3 o'clock, finish. 20 minutes break,
All
one,
right.
and then another 30 minutes break. Finish. No waste time. Pam, pam, pam. Before you know it, 7, 8 days, this thing is done and dusted.
It's done.
So it shows you, if our authorities can sort of learn from some of these things, I think it will definitely serve them. And the judges and the magistrates should stop adjourning every single time. Mange them ditch, mange them ngente, mange them hell. Suma chemo say. These are some of the things reasons why Gambia do that. It's not some people. I'm one of those people who believe Gambia do not them. That's why I went back. My violence in diaspora, I know you also believe that Gambia do not them. But these are some of the challenges we're having. Just to put a little bit of humor in it, it's some of the challenges that definitely we have, and our authorities.
Absolutely. Did not them unless we change our attitude. Anyway, Flex Dan, thank you so much. So I will just give Ole a closing remark because I told you I'm not very impressed because this is I'm very passionate about human rights, justice, accountability, and all of you are very passionate. So that's why I want to make this conversation very enriching, and then but unfortunately
Yes,
it's
but next
America.
time
When people
Juka
tell them
has to
sometimes
come.
the
Huh?
internet
Juka
is
has to
bad,
come.
you will be like, no, it's not possible.
Next time we get Juka with us.
Yeah, Juga has to come. So, Oli, your final statement. Then we go to Jay and round it up. Then probably tomorrow, if I stabilize my internet, then we can probably have another show. Yes.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, I was on mute.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
Thank you, Sani, and thank you, Flex. I think, as I said at the beginning, justice usually takes a long time, and in this case, uh, one day, inshallah, justice will be served. Yaya Jame will face the same hot seat that Michael Correa faced today. And hopefully that will at least put hope in the heart of all the victims out there that that there's still hope. And I hope that the Gambian government take these cases as an example that they also should be able to do something, because if the US, which is like thousands of miles, these prosecutors have no idea of where Gambia is, have never lived in the Gambia, and we're able to gather evidence against these junglers and prosecute them, I'm sure that the Gambian government should be able to do the same. And I hope that they take this as a priority and help a lot of the victims have closure at least. And it's not just about closure or also about revenge, because I think I've seen comments about that. I've seen people ask like, okay, what does this do at the end of the day? Like, those people are dead already. Yes, they're dead already. We cannot bring them back. But there's one thing I think that we all have to remember. I don't think any one of us want to live in fear or want to live in the same state in terms of how fearful people were of the NIA or the junglers before. And so I think because of that, we need to hold these people accountable so that whoever is the president or whoever is in charge cannot just tell you, nilly-willy, go and do something, and then you go and do it. You should also have your conscience. You should also know that there's legal ramification for anything that anybody does, and that one day you'll be held accountable. And that's the whole reason why we are all fighting this fight, is just to make sure that there's accountability at the end of the day, that whoever does this is held accountable and is responsible and cannot just pass the buck and say, I was just following directives.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Oli. Thank you for that brilliant closing statement. Accountability, justice, the fight will continue. Dr. J. J, are you on
Denver's
mute?
connection.
Yes, I am on mute. Yeah, thank you, Flex. Thank you, Sani. And I'm glad
Oli,
we're
I'm even I don't happy, but that's Denver.
yeah. So thank you all for being here, but I wouldn't say much because Ole said it all. I think with patience, we would see more justice to come, and the final justice would be when we put Yaya Jammeh on the hot seat and in jail. And the main reason why we continue to fight this fight is to make sure history doesn't repeat itself. We want to make sure we all live in a Gambia that would be more prosperous for every single Gambian, and we would not live in fear. We would not have to worry about who's going to be the next jungler. And that's the whole purpose, to make sure the victims and all of those that have lost their lives, that their lives will never go in vain. So I would say
Now
thank
it's
you.
Jay's connection, which is weird because we're in the same house.
But I'm on the different side of the house. That's probably why. But so I would say thank you for what you're doing, Sani and Flex. Hope to see you guys again.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to see you guys.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Guys.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Anyway, thank you so much for those watching. This is the special conversation on Michael Correa's verdict here today in Denver. Michael Correa has been found guilty on all 6 counts of torture and conspiracy to commit torture, and he can likely spend more than 100 years in jail if the sentences resume in July. Many thanks. My deepest apologies. I am so sorry that my internet connection has been very weak today. I will try to do better next time. Wherever you are watching, thank you and bye for now. Have a wonderful evening.
Tune into the final take with MK Mariner every Saturday on the Alcamba Times and experience extensive conversations on a variety of topics, including national and international headlines, breaking issues, and major developments in politics, business, innovation, science, and sports, along with inspiring stories and expert analysis to provide a comprehensive understanding of the news.